Niche research is one of the most critical and important components to having success with print on demand. And yet, every single day, I get direct messages and emails of people asking for help when it comes to niche research. I think this topic is sometimes intimidating and sometimes it's a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. So in this video, I'm going to take one example. We're going to look at one niche, the train niche, okay? And I want to show you guys how just with a little bit of brainstorming, a little bit of deliberate effort, you can actually dive deep and find many sub-niches within one broad niche. It takes some time, and what I've got here is a mind map, a visual representation where we're going to start with the first term, trains, and we're going to branch that out. And by the end, I'm going to show you guys some examples, some specific examples of train-related shirts that are maybe in niches you never thought of that are related to trains. So this video is more about the exercise than it is about the niche. The train niche is a great niche. I sell in it, and there's a lot of opportunity there, but it's really not about that. I'm just using that as an example. Really what I'm trying to get across here is that if you treat your niche research like a brainstorming session, you'll uncover and find areas, hidden opportunities, and areas that you can create designs for a very specific targeted customer and audience. All right, guys, so what I've got pulled up on the screen here is called a mind map, and it's basically just a brainstorming software or exercise where you start with a main term and you branch out. It's kind of like a family tree. And I'm zoomed all the way out right now because I just want to show you guys kind of the overall view. We're gonna dive into this, but the idea here is that we start with a main term, right? Trains, all right? That's the main niche, the broadest level niche. We want to make shirts about trains, but what kind of shirts? Trains for who? For what? So all I did was I just broke this out into 4 main categories. So you can see these lines coming off here, and we've got trains for adults, right? We've got trains for kids here. I've got types of trains. Okay, that's another category I thought of. And then I've got like other train stuff that didn't really fit into these categories. These would be an example of sub-niching down. Do you want to make trains for adults? Do you want to make trains for kids? Do you want to make shirts that are just about different types of trains or something else? And I'll give you a couple examples here of some of those kind of one-level sub-niche shirts. So this one here, eat, sleep, trains, repeat. This is directly off Amazon. It's just a screenshot, and you can see this shirt's selling here. It's got a good BSR. That's a very general, right? That would appeal to kids, maybe adults. It's someone who loves trains, okay? Here's another example, right? This is different types of trains. We can see here a couple different trains, train lover, right? And again, this is kind of a broader level, just a general types of trains or kids types of train shirt. But we could take it a step further, and for that I'm going to go up here to trains for adults, okay? And you can see I've got this thing broken down to a lot of different categories, and what's cool is I can zoom in here and show you guys different things. But trains for adults, well, there's trains occupations. That's the first thing I thought of. And then from there, we have things like train engineers, or train crew, train communications. So here's an example of a shirt for a train engineer, right? And it says, I don't just ride the crazy train, I am the engineer, right? Train engineer shirt for men or women. It's got reviews and a good BSR. That's a shirt right there. We've sub-niched down from trains to trains for adults to train engineers, okay? We could take it even a step further. What about people who are retired engineers, okay? And we've got some examples here. A retired railroader, just like a regular railroader, only way happier. Again, it's selling. How about train-related milestones? Here's one. Still chugging along after all these years. That could be for someone like a train engineer or maybe train maintenance, right? Anyone who works in that industry and is still chugging along. Now, on this mind map, I haven't gone and given examples of everything. This is stuff I came up off the top of my head and with the help of ChatGPT. Free tools, okay? It's just doing a little bit of research. So what else do I have? Okay, under train occupations, I came up with train communications, right? And I came across these, train signaling, right? These are train-related shirts that are simply train symbols, right? It's the railroad crossing sign and another version here. Both of these are selling. Look at this one, it's selling fantastic. 88 reviews, 163,000 BSR, okay? So That's an example of where we're really niching down just in this one branch of trains for adults. Let's take a look at some others here. How about train hobbies, adult train hobbies, okay? So there's physical big trains we ride on, but then there's people who love building trains, train dioramas, train models, okay? So I've got some examples here. Here's one for model railroad trains, and it says, I fool around with models, and it has a little train. Great reviews, great BSR, very clever design. If you're into model trains, that's funny and appealing, probably more for adults, okay? But that's important because each of these designs that I'm showing is built or created to focus and target a specific customer, okay? How about model train competitions or train dioramas, right? That's where you build the little towns and the little, the little houses and cars and stuff like that. And here's one. I create model railroads. What's your superpower? Again, good BSR, reviews, there's demand. This is very specific to model train lovers, okay? Totally different than somebody who's a train engineer. Totally different than somebody who is 5 years old and is into trains. How about some other ones? Another hobby, train spotting. That's people who love to watch trains in real life. They like to see them and watch them, come into the stations. I don't always stop and look at trains. Oh, wait, yes, I do. Again, great reviews, great BSR, okay? That is not a difficult design. Don't go copying these, guys. This is like trying to show you the opportunity of how can you create something new in this train spotting niche? How can you create something unique? So let me zoom out here, right? So we just kind of went over this top part of just trains for adults. Let's look at some more, okay? How about train travel? Okay, we've got commuter trains, high-speed trains. Well, I started looking at high-speed trains and I thought of bullet trains, right? Those really fast trains in Japan and stuff. And look at this, bullet train shirt. High-speed rail shirt. It's got a good BSR. It's selling, right? Now, I haven't checked the trademarks. This isn't about the designs, guys. What I'm trying to show you is how I can go from the train niche with just some brainstorming, a little bit of chat GPT, a little bit of reading, looking at the results, and come up with so many other areas. This is a really cool one, okay? So we've got train travel, right? Then we got commuter trains. And then after that, I thought about like metro trains, and I came across this. These are train map shirts. So if you've been in any urban cities like London or Chicago or New York, they have these subway maps, right? Or these train maps. And people have created artistic versions of these and put them on shirts. Here's a Chicago one, great BSR. Here's one of the London Underground, great BSR. Now, I'm not checking trademarks. That's up to you guys. I'm just showing you. Who would have thought you could create train-related shirts that are artistic versions of subway maps, right? And they're selling. There's demand. Imagine you visited London. You had an experience on the London Underground, on the tube. You love trains. That might be something really appealing to you, okay? So that's the trains for adults. Let's go down here to trains for kids, okay? So we could break this down, maybe trains for toddlers, right? Really, really young, 1, 2 years old, and then maybe for kids and teens. Now for toddlers, the train shirts are very different. Look at this here. You can see these are really, really kid versions, right? They're colorful. They're almost cartoon-like. Chugga Chugga Choo Choo, right? That's like a pun on Chugga Chugga Choo Choo. Great BSR. Look at this one. 300 sold in the past month, and it says Choo Choo I'm Two, right? It's just a cartoon artistic version. That is very specific to toddlers. That design, that research, those keywords are going to be totally different than the keywords that you might use for something up here in railroad signaling. Two totally different customers, okay? But you've got to be able to you've got to be able to choose a lane, choose what you want to design for, and that's really important. And these brainstorming sessions where you can really break this stuff down can show you that there's a lot of opportunity out there. Train toys, right? Yes, I need all those trains. Somebody who collects model trains. This could be for young kids, maybe 10, 13 years old, or adults. Again, it's selling. Great. Now, over here, I've got it broken down for kids and teens, and we've got birthday themes, pop culture. How about something specific? Girls who love trains, okay? Just a girl who loves trains. That's maybe taking this kid, train niche down to a kid. Instead of boy, we're going for something girl specific. Here's something that's kind of pop culture, right? Education is important, but trains are importanter. That's a funny one that you could pretty much do with any niche. But look at these birthday niches, and this is a big one, okay? Train-themed birthdays, train-themed birthday parties at train museums, train, memorabilia and events, shows, very common, popular. Dad of the birthday boy, right? You could do this for the whole family, for friends, for cousins. You've got this that's kind of more the vintage, retro look, right? And it just says 4 with the train on it. And then you've got this one here where it's using the track, the actual train track to create the number of whatever age this birthday is. A lot of opportunity here, but it's much different, right? This branch, this sub-niche of trains is much different than these down here, okay? So same thing, let's look at this, types of trains, okay? We already showed this kind of basic model, but let's look at some specific ones. I asked ChatGPT to give me a list of different trains, and this is what it came up with. Now, I didn't come up with examples for all these, but steam trains, the old steam engine locomotives, very popular. Look at this. Vintage steam train railway shirt, 101 reviews, 38,000 BSR. Okay, here's another one of a schematic, right, of a vintage patent print 1886 locomotive. Okay, there's obviously demand out there. People like steam trains, electric trains, diesel trains. Here's one. This is just a diesel shirt. I'm not sure what this image is from. It's selling and specifically targeting diesel locomotive, diesel trains. Okay. Freight trains, tankers, and cabooses. Look at this one I found. Freight train engine, tanker, caboose. And it shows a tanker, right? It shows a caboose, the engine, kind of like the 3 main components of a train, right? Somebody who's into train is going to know those. They're going to recognize those components. Selling really good. How about this? Subway trains. Okay, we did the subway map. Look, this is just a picture of an old subway car, right? Maybe a subway token. This one's selling for $24.99. Great BSR, okay? And then there's a lot of other opportunities here with this other train stuff, okay? So this is kind of stuff that I couldn't fit into adults or for kids, so it's kind of this other related stuff. And we've got things like train puns. Now, these are popular, right? Who tooted? And it's a funny, pun here for, this could be for kids or adults, anyone who loves trains. Here's another one. I have a one-track mind, okay? Now, there's tons of these out there, but think of your own pun. Think of your own pun. Ask ChatGPT. Look at other puns that are successful in other niches and see how you could apply it to the train niche, okay? What else do I have on here? How about some train inside jokes, okay? I saw this one. This is called a ferroquinologist. I think I'm saying that right. That's someone who loves trains, okay? I didn't know that until I started researching this, but it just says that with a train, bam, we've got some sales, okay? Train historians. This one is referencing a specific train, Pennsylvania locomotive 1848, okay? Somebody who's into Pennsylvania train history is going to buy that. They're going to enjoy that. Train-related art, okay? Again, a totally different niche, and this is a steam engine in the Van Gogh style, right? A Starry Night style painting. This is really creative. I think there's a ton of opportunity here to expand on train-related art or insert hobby-related art. Train costumes, guys. This is another one, totally different than what you may think of. And look at these train Halloween costumes, right? This one is kind of the old school steam engine locomotive engineer, right? And it's a costume shirt. This one is more of a train conductor, okay, on a more formal, fancy train. Look at this, guys. So I'm going to zoom back out here, and you can see all these different areas that I've been able to branch out to. That's the kind of niche research I'm doing to identify hidden niches. And I'm finding one, and it's going to help me identify that specific customer and research what they like or what may be appealing to them. Here's a couple examples I found that where trains are already cross-niched, okay? So these are train cross-niches. This one here says chugging along for autism and acceptance, okay? So they've combined the train niche with the autism niche. Again, it's got a BSR. Here's one, these two here are combining other transportation, right? So young kids really like trains, planes, boats, and automobiles. That's a play on these, right? So we've got the heart here with tractors and cars. And then here we can see trains, right? With cars and planes and helicopters. Look at these BSRs. These shirts are selling. So the point that I'm trying to make to you guys is that don't overcomplicate this. Instead, pick one niche and then spend 30 minutes or so deep diving. Ask ChatGPT for some help. I asked it all kinds of questions here, right? Where I was getting ideas and I'm saying, give me the different types of train communications. Tell me the different ways that people enjoy trains. What are other hobbies that somebody who might like trains also enjoy? And all of that is going to help you determine, it's going to help you learn about your niche and determine a target niche for your customer. The second thing here, guys, is the keywords that you can use for these different types of designs. I asked ChatGPT to help me come up with some keywords. I thought outside of the box and I came up with this list. Train, rail fan, train spotting, locomotive, right? Boxcar, railroad, caboose. These are all keywords that you can use on your designs or in your actual keyword listings. I know it may seem like every single niche out there is taken. There's too much competition. You don't know where to go. I get it. I struggle with the same thing from time to time. But what I'm trying to show in this video is that if you pick one niche, okay, and you focus in on that niche and then try and divide it into smaller and smaller subgroups, you will stumble across opportunities. So I hope that this video helps. And if you're watching, I'm sending you good vibes on your niche research and print-on-demand journey. If you enjoy this kind of content, please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and if you have a question or a comment, I'd love to hear it, drop it below. Last thing I have is that I have a newsletter where I actually send out weekly POD niche reveals. Yes, I send out an email about once a week where I talk about print on demand and other side hustles that I'm doing, as well as reveal a niche that I think has an opportunity. It could be a small niche or a big niche, but you should sign up at the link below if you like this kind of stuff. So sending you guys good vibes out there. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Later.